mortgage in Detroit, Michigan for him. Wyndham Clark at 36-1. And I also like Alex Noren at 60-1.
My Morency drunken Brit dart toss golf pick, which does win like 2-3 times a year, guys. Insanely enough. But I'm going to say Matt Fitzpatrick.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
I do believe that SJ now is the number one player in the world. The things that he can do from the point of attack, offensively and defensively, his ability to drive downhill and score in all three levels. And the thing about I like most about this young man at 26, he's so humble. He's so humble. And that speaks to the whole culture of OKC that Sam Presti and Mark Daigneault has built. Humble team, folks.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
No way that I'm betting on the Cleveland Cavaliers for any reason whatsoever.
No.
Ever. Like, when they had LeBron James, it was a different story. I think Spider's great. He's no LeBron. I don't see him carrying them to a title. And I don't believe in the Knicks at all. The Knicks never get it done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Kevin Durant, at the age of 36 years old, after 17 seasons that he has played in the NBA DRS, is now on his way to H-Town.
I don't think it's a great move. I wanted him to go to a ready-made championship team full of a veteran roster and see if he can ring chase that way. Not the organization on the come-up that if you just stay the course, and also, what better blueprint do we have than just staying the course and OKC, right?
The Early Line, only on Sport.
And welcome in. It is in-game live game day on this fabulous Friday. Scott Wetzel, Joe Madden for the next 2 glorious hours, right up until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, watching, analyzing, betting the world of sports. Ah, yes, full slate of baseball tonight. Unlike last night when we had only one game, today we have 30. Not bad. We got some WNBA. We got the NHL draft. So far, no surprise. Matthew Schaefer does go number 1 to the New York Islanders as expected. We'll monitor that, see if any trades are being made throughout the evening here. So little SGP, little black cloud. 5 on the line trends return tonight as well, since we got a whole slew of games, also a slew of guests tonight. We got Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, will join us in a little bit. We got Rob Donaldson from UnderdogFantasy.com. He'll join us next hour. And then our good buddy Cam Stewart, who always closes out the program with us. So busy 2 hours, hopefully making some money. My partner in crime, Joe Bad. What's going on, Joe? How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, and Matthew Schaefer should be feeling so great, taking number 1 overall for the New York Islanders. Now, Scott, not sure if you realize the last time that a player from the OHL went number 1 was back in 2015, and the one and only Connor McDavid was that player. So the New York Islanders have a great defenseman on their hands, and I'm excited to see how he does in the big leagues.
Yeah, we got Sam Bennett re-signing. I see that with the Florida Panthers. That was a good coup for them. 8-year deal, got $1 gazillion. They somehow fit him under the salary cap. I was more impressed with that than I was the Islanders drafting Schaefer. I mean, we kind of figured he would go number 1. We'll see. Hopefully turns into a good player. But the fact that, there was some buzz about maybe Florida wouldn't be able to keep all their guys, Joe. Bennett was at the top of the list, and a good job by the 2-time defending champs to get the arguably one of, anyway. Maybe they're the best player, but certainly one of the best players on the Panthers.
Oh, and it was absolutely phenomenal that they were able to re-sign him, and he actually went for less money than expected. And I do think this is really good sign here for the Florida Panthers that they were holding some space for another player. And I think that player probably one close to your heart, Scott. So don't want to speculate, but I do think this means Brad Marchand probably will be signing again with the Florida Panthers here. So keep your fingers crossed, Panther fans.
Yeah, I tell you what, if they are able to re-sign both those guys, What a great coup for the Florida Panthers to be able to keep this group together. If that's the case, the last time we checked, don't ask why, but FanDuel and I guess everyone else had the Carolina Panthers as the odds-on favorite to win the championship next year, Joe. But if they're able to bring Marshawn back after today's signing, they still got Carolina. I don't get that. Outside of it, maybe they just view Carolina's path to the Stanley Cup is a little bit easier in their division versus Florida's, but Carolina is 7-1 and Florida is 7.5 to 1. Edmonton 7.5 to 1 as well. In what world should Carolina be a better favorite than Florida to get to the Stanley Cup championship and win? I don't understand that.
They shouldn't be. You look at the Carolina Hurricanes, they do have the easiest path coming out of the Metro there, but this team was so inconsistent last season out there on the road. They had their struggles in net as well. They couldn't produce those goals when they were on the road either, and I just think they're not a team that I could ever circle. We'll see what changes they do in the offseason here, but I don't think Carolina would have a chance. I would rather take even the Colorado Avalanche at plus 850 before I looked at the Carolina Hurricanes. We know the struggles the Avs did have this past season, so I can't touch Carolina. I do think the books have it wrong. At plus 750, the Florida Panthers definitely have a chance of getting that three-peat. But Scott, is plus 750 enough for you to wrap your money up for the next year? Because you look at the adjusted schedule. Now that takes effect next year with the 84 games. Yeah. But you look at the season as a whole. We got the Olympics coming this year. The Cup is going to be hoist in end of June, right? June 20th, right around that date. Do you want your money wrapped up for the next 300 and what? Is that 360 days, 355 days? I don't.
It's a lot.
Plus 750?
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. And not to mention two-time defending, Stanley Cup chances are halfway decent that they're going to come out the season slow. There's going to be another team that's going to come out blazing, and those odds are going to go up. So not only are you locking your money up for an extra few months, you're also probably not getting the best number you'll see on the Florida Panthers. Chances are real good they'll start 6-6, 6-7, 7-6, something like that, just because the NHL season is so long and they've had back-to-back years. So, yeah, no, it's not worth it. That is for sure. One of the things we do here, first segment, didn't do it last night because we didn't have the games, but today we do. That is our 5 on the line, 5 best trends for this Friday, June 27th. All right, here we go. It's all baseball tonight. Could have had a WNBA, but we chose all baseball games. We'll start 5 down to 1 as the number 1 best trend. Number 5, Nationals, 3-15 their last 18 games. I mean, they're just they're not playing well, obviously, right? Throw in, they're taking on an Angels team that's 4-1 its last 5. Where are we going to go? Pretty obvious here, right? Give us the LA Angels, minus 158 or so at home. Not bad number, all things considered, against the Washington Nationals. Number 4, Kansas City hosting the LA Dodgers. Right away, you got no reason to bet Kansas City, but throw in this little divot. Kansas City has lost 10 straight road games. That is one shy of a franchise record, 10 in a row. As we say here on In-Game Live all the time, winners bet with streaks, losers bet against streaks. So give us the Dodgers minus the 154 or so against Kansas City. Play number 3, trend number 3, Brewers, 20-8, their last 28 games, playing terrific baseball. Really one of the true surprises. Most people thought this team would drop off the map. It is not. Challenging the Cubs in the NL Central. They're taking on a god-awful Rockies team. You know the numbers, 18-62. There's 1,000 others we could give you as far as bad trends are concerned with the Rockies. We'll keep it simple. Give us Milwaukee laying the 2-1 at home against Colorado. Play number 3, trend number 2, actually, as you go in reverse order. Seattle versus Texas. Very quirky stat here, but Seattle is 18-5. Its last 23 games against Texas, including 10-2 their last 12, including 5-1 this year. For whatever reason, the Mariners just own the Texas Rangers. So let's where we got to go? Let's take Seattle minus the 115, right? Why not? At Texas. And that leaves us with only one, the coup de grace, creme de la creme, numero uno trend for tonight, Joe. It's one of our favorites. We've given it out many, many times. Texas, 53, 27-1 under this year, including 29-10. Best numbers all across baseball. So, time for our best trend play of the day. Yeah, give us an under. It's a low number. It is 7. Under 7, Joe. Seattle at Texas. Our 5 trends for the night. What do you think?
I love where you're going with the under, but my heart felt like it broke in two when you said that stat with the Seattle Mariners versus the Texas Rangers, because my money's already on the Texas Rangers. And I didn't realize that the Seattle Mariners just rolled in so strong. I was looking at Nathan Eovaldi to come out and really come back into form. You know, we've had some like ups and downs for him, and I looked at Seattle and they've been playing decent as of late, but I love the price on the Texas Rangers. Now I understand why, Scott. So definitely going to be sweating that, but I do have the under. So that makes me feel better that I have your number one trend.
All right, well, there you go. At least you got the number one trend, right? So, Valdi, coming off the DL, making his first start in a month. So, all right, in-game live, just underway here on the grid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of thoughts.
18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All righty, welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. Hour number one of our 2-hour extravaganza. Scott and Joe Madden until 10 p.m. Eastern time. Full slate of baseball here, Joe. So let's dive right into some of these games. We'll go in order on FanDuel. Pittsburgh lead the Mets 4-1. That's where our producer is at tonight in Pittsburgh, actually on vacation with his family. Top of the fifth inning they go. Pirates minus 770. Soto does have a home run for the Mets. At least Vinny, our good buddy, got a chance to see that. 2.5. You can grab the Mets if you want. Minus 102. You got an over-under of 8.5. Any thoughts, Mets and Pirates tonight after the Mets won the last two of their 4-game series against the Atlanta Braves?
Yeah, it's hard not to look here at the New York Mets plus the 2.5 at minus 102. Scott's the only way that I could go with this game. I don't want to lay the 2.5 with the Pittsburgh Pirates, even though they're up 4-1 right now, and you would be winning that as things just locked up. So I'm seeing right now it opened back up. It's still that plus 2.5 for the Mets at minus 102. They do have a runner on first, 2 outs though, but I do think they have every ability to get a couple more runs on the board, Scott.
Yeah, I'd take a flyer on both of those. 6-1 isn't too bad, and then the 2.5. I know you're still down, as you say, a half a run there, but at plus odds again. I always like it when you're getting money with the team that's trailing. When you have to lay odds with a team that's trailing, that's the double whammy for me. So it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. Mitch Keller, who's been basically lousy this year, 1-10. Somehow or another is pitching well, but against that Pirates bullpen, it's only a matter of time before he gets lifted. And holding on to a 6-1 ticket, not the worst thing in the world. Stankies, 2-0 over the A's. Bottom of the fourth inning. Laying it's an ungodly number, 14-50. That's not even worth putting in a parlay. A's 7-1 coming back on the other side. Over under is 7.5. Here's the number that's remarkable with this game, Joe. The Yankees are, believe it or not, the number 3 under team in all of baseball. 17 more unders than overs, and they're on a nice little fat 13-1 under run. 13 of their last 14. Now, the A's are an over team, but a lot of that is at home in that miniature ballpark they play. And on the road, just 19, 17, and 5 over. So only 2 games over. So basically, they're even on the road. So I like the under 8.5. Didn't quite understand why that line jumped from 8 to 8.5. And it's sitting there still halfway decent, 7.5. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Yanks are threatening. But I still don't think, at 13-1 trends odds, I'm playing into it. Give me the under.
Yeah, and I completely understand where you went with that. Now, I looked at this total and I went, Scott, I can't take a full game under. I wanted to isolate the A's team total to the under, but I didn't feel comfortable with that number. But I did feel comfortable with the Yankees going over their team total, even though I could still see it going under. I think the Yankees pull out 6 runs. The over 5.5 going into this one was giving you slight plus money, and I just checked the numbers. You're still getting a 5.5 with them. With 2 runners already home, they do have bases loaded right now. So that number is completely locked up. I'm not sure if you'll get a 5.5. If they open it up and you're getting a 5.5, I would still take it to the over. If you're not getting a 5.5, they fired up to 6.5. You've missed the best of the number. And I don't know if I would jump in if it's a 6.5 or 7.5, Scott. I just can't go that high with the Yankees.
Right. They got the bases loaded. Maybe that's why they bumped it up with 1 out. But the Yanks are more than capable of hitting into a double play grounder. So, but, if you get it 5.5 now with the bases loaded with 2 runs already on the board, that's not bad. So now they got it locked again. So we'll see what happens. Tampa Bay and Baltimore. Boy, the Devil Dogs had a 6-0 lead in this game. It's down to 6-5. Bottom of the third inning. So the ball's flying out in Baltimore. Tampa Bay, a minus 160 favorites, 162 to be exact. Over under is 16.5. Tampa Bay's playing great. 6 straight road wins. They're 5-1 their last 6 overall. 22-9 their last 31. Baltimore, last place. A bunch of under trends for Baltimore. Glad we didn't give those out because that's already gone over. I like Tampa Bay in the game. I was looking real good when it was 6-0. I must say now it's 6-5, like I said, Joe. But I still think Tampa Bay wins. They're the better team. They're playing well, and Baltimore is not.
Oh, absolutely. And I came in the same way as you into this one. I looked at the Tampa Bay Rays. So on the run line, I laid the 1.5 and I got that plus money. And then I was looking at the over 8.5 just because I thought the Orioles would put a couple of runs. They put more runs on the board than I expected. I expected this to be, a 6-3 win here for the Tampa Bay Rays, pushing us over that total of 8.5. Now to 16.5, Scott, the books don't think these runs are going to stop. They want you to lay minus 152 on the over 16.5. There's a runner out on second base for the Baltimore Orioles. I wouldn't touch the over right now with the juice you're going to have to lay. But Scott, I'm not going to be shocked if this is our game of the night where those runs just keep continuing to hit. Even though the Baltimore Orioles bats have been quiet, obviously they're alive tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think when everything is said and done, you probably get 17 runs. But again, who wants to lay minus 152? So, little matchup here. You're and now they just got it locked up. So there's something even more is happening as far as the offense. I'm sure. Your Blue Jays and our Red Sox squaring off tonight, Joe. Toronto's playing well. Boston is not. 5-game losing streak. And look at that. It's already 3-0 Toronto. They've taken 6 of the last 8 against the Red Sox, who have generally played fairly well against Toronto over the years, but obviously not this year, not last year, and not recently anyway. So Red Sox, like I said, lost 5 in a row. Toronto 16-9 their last 25 games. Tough to bet right now unless you want to bet the underdog because Toronto's minus 480, Red Sox plus 340, over under 8.5. You got 3 runs, bottom of the 4th inning. Nothing jumps off the page this game for me.
I would be cautious with the Red Sox plus the 2.5 until Bellows goes out of this game, because you look at Bellows versus Toronto, and Toronto's actually really had his number. His ERA is higher than 5. I think it's a 5.84 versus the Toronto Blue Jays, and I expect them to continue here to hit off of him. But we know the Jays bullpen, they have their struggles. I did have Barrios over his 5.5 strikeouts. He's already got 3 on the board, Scott. So that's what I'm rolling with live. Okay. I'm going to bet the Boston Red Sox live, though, after Bellows goes out.
All right, I got that as well. His over strikeouts 5.5 also. So, all right, quick break. We'll come back, Joe and I, with our SGP same game parlays.
As we know, it's just we enter every year and it's, is this the Ravens' time? Is this Lamar Jackson's turn? Can they get past the Chiefs and all of these other, stalwarts of the AFC? But it's always really about Kansas City when we're talking Baltimore.
This potentially, Adam, as I send it back to you, potentially is a game changer in that you get a very talented quarter at a discount price.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Oklahoma City now becomes one of 4 NBA teams ever, one of 3 NBA champs ever, to win at least 84 total regular season and postseason games.
It's just the beginning, Ben, and you just look at a team with, these guys at such a young age, and, Chet's got a team option, Ismael Dieng has a team option, Jalen Williams team option, Keyshawn Wallace team option. Hey, man, they're all coming back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We are seeing unbelievable temperature surges over the past couple of days. So I wanted to ask you this question to let the people know, how do we account for that in our handicapping? 2 good pitchers on the mound, but you look at a place like Wrigley Field, let's just say, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 90-plus degree temperatures. Is it almost like you say to yourself, you just have to fade the environment and not worry about the pitchers, because if we're hitting fly balls, they're going yard?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Was the first time, I think, in Dodgers history that the ballpark was full in the first inning. Everybody was there to see Shohei Ohtani throw his first pitch as a Dodger, and I had mixed emotions about this for a few reasons. Number one, it was a reminder of, wow, this is so crazy, right? You're watching him hit 98, 99, even 100 on the radar gun, going, this guy's not human. Nobody should be able to be this good of a hitter and this good of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live Game Day here on a Friday. Scott and Joe Madden until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll put the baseball aside for just a second. We'll get back to the board in a little bit. I will say Pirates added another run, 5-1 now over the Mets. But that said, chance to make a couple shekels with the late games with our SGP same-game parlays. All right, Joe, I'll go first. Our two late games, I'm going to grab Arizona and Miami. It's hard not to like Arizona, right? Minus 184. Although I will say the Marlins coming off that 3-game sweep at San Francisco. So they're actually playing halfway decent ball, but still, give me Arizona at home. They got to turn things around. I actually like this team a lot. It's been a season-long struggle for them. Hopefully they can get out of this funk before the All-Star break, put some wins together and get 5, 6, maybe 7 games over 500. So that all said, give me Arizona minus the 184. I'm going to go with over 8.5 Miami, Arizona. I thought about taking the team total, but it was 5.5. I was like, you know what? With Arizona's bullpen, which was generally stinks, chances are good that Miami's going to put 3-4 runs on the board. So if that's the case, let's just go with the over 8.5. Gave a little bit better odds that way too. And then I'm going to use Ketel Marte. He's been on fire. Guy's hitting over 300 for the season. He's hitting 365 in the month of June. 5 of his last 7 games, he's had not 1, but he's had 2 hits or more in 5 of his last 7. So let's go Marte, 2 hits at plus 175. If he's going to get 2 hits, chances are pretty good. One of them is going to be at least a double. So give me 3 bases for Marte at plus 175. And again, I was surprised how much the odds actually jumped up on this parlay. Because that definitely is correlated, right? If he gets 2 hits, chances are he get 3 bases. And then Marte and RBI at plus 135. And again, that jumped it up another 100-plus points. So sometimes FanDuel surprises you. Sometimes you get disappointed. Today was a little bit of a surprise because they're obviously all correlated. It all goes back to Marte getting 2 hits. If he gets 2 hits, probably gets 3 bases, probably gets an RBI. Arizona probably wins, and hopefully we get 9 runs. So pay $662, Arizona and Miami. What do you got planned for us?
Yeah, I love where you're going with that one. You look at the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they're so strong in those situations. So I think they're going to have that really good game there. I'm going to look at the Washington Nationals taking on the LA Angels, and I've got not too much of a long shot parlay here. I've only got 3 legs in this one. I'm looking for both of these pitchers to come out stronger than expected. I was actually shocked this total was sitting at 8.5. I do think Jake Irvin can come out nice and strong versus the LA Angels, and Soriano can come out strong versus the Washington Nationals. We look at Soriano and his last start versus the Nationals. He pitched 6 innings, 1 earned run allowed on 4 hits, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. So I'll start with Soriano's strikeouts. I'll take him over 5.5 strikeouts at plus 112 for the LA Angels. And I'll look at Jake Irvin here. And I do think, although he hasn't faced the Angels yet in his career, I think he's going to have success. I'll take him over the 4.5 strikeouts. It's juicy at minus 130. But I do think he can get there, and because I think both of these pitchers are going to come out nice and strong in this game, at least to start being a lower scoring game here, Scott. I'll take the first 5 innings under the 4.5 runs. It's coming in at minus 114. So when you put those 3 legs together, it's paying just over 4-1. It's coming in at plus 411. So again, it's the under in the first 5, under 4.5 runs at minus 114. Soriano over 5.5 strikeouts at plus 112, and Jake Irving over 4.5 strikeouts at minus 130. Not 6.5. Don't fire it up that high.
Right, yeah. Don't go that high, right?
No.
Not bad. You know what? I got the Irvin strikeout prop myself in a different situation. Soriano's been on fire. He's had a gazillion strikeouts, as you said, recently, so that should hit. The under 5, I guess if you were going to lose 1, maybe that would be it, but I'm okay with it. It's actually not bad for a 3-legger to get over 4-1. So there you go. You got Joe's, you got mine, and hopefully we could cash a couple tickets. How did mine miss yesterday? I was 2 points shy on one, and then I was 1 rebound shy on another. How did your CFL SGP go last night?
CFL absolutely killed me last night, Scott. We got garbage points out of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and not out of the the Edmonton Elks. It was just a complete disaster. Edmonton fell apart in that fourth quarter where they should have been able to excel and at least keep it within the number. I think they lost by 13, 14 points. We needed them plus 10.5 for that parlay.
All right. Well, we'll get him tonight. That is for sure. Jeff Dawson's got a fistful of winners. EastCoastSportsInvestors.com joins us next right here on SportsGrid as we keep an eye on baseball, little WNBA, and the NHL draft all on the grid.
As we know, it's just we enter every year and it's like, is this the Ravens' time? Is this Lamar Jackson's turn? Can they get past the Chiefs and all of these other, stalwarts of the AFC? But it's always really about Kansas City when we're talking Baltimore.
This potentially, Adam, as I send it back to you, potentially is a game changer in that you get a very talented quarter at a discount price.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Oklahoma City now becomes one of 4 NBA teams ever, one of 3 NBA champs ever to win at least 84 total regular season and postseason games.
It's just the beginning, Ben, and you just look at a team with, these guys at such a young age, and, Chet's got a team option, Ismail Dieng has a team option, Jalen Williams team option, Keyshawn Wallace team option. Hey, Ben, they're all coming back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We are seeing unbelievable temperature surges over the past couple of days. So I wanted to ask you this question to let the people know, how do we account for that in our handicapping? 2 good pitchers on the mound, but you look at a place like Wrigley Field, let's just say, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 90-plus degree temperatures. Is it almost like you say to yourself, you just have to fade the environment and not worry about the pitchers because if we're hitting fly balls, they're going yard?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
It was the first time, I think, in Dodgers history that the ballpark was full in the first inning. Everybody was there to see Shohei Ohtani throw his first pitch as a Dodger, and I had mixed emotions about this for a few reasons. Number one, it was a reminder of, wow, this is so crazy, right? You're watching him hit 98, 99, even 100 on the radar gun going, this guy's not human. Nobody should be able to be this good of a hitter and this good of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. Hour number 1 as we welcome in Jeff Dawson. EastCoastSportsInvestors.com is his home for all his plays. Joins us now gracefully and gives us a couple of winners. Keep your fingers crossed tonight. What's going on, Jeff? How are you this evening?
Yes, keep your fingers crossed. We call it Freaky Friday. Anything can happen. It's payday for most of the people across the country here. So they run to the window and then they push here, they push here. Why not a couple in-game parlays? It's Friday. And then they wake up Saturday morning and, oh my God, I didn't pay this bill, that bill, and I didn't cash the ticket. So that's what we're here for.
Most definitely. Well, we've got a couple games already underway in the WNBA, but I wanted to hear the Minnesota Lynx taking on the Atlanta Dream. Did you have a bet going into this one, and would you adjust right now? It's 52-47 for Minnesota.
Yeah, we had 2 plays in the WNBA. Both of them flipped. So what we did here is overnight Atlanta was 1.5 point favorites, and then Minnesota went to 3.5 point favorites. I usually don't lay the lumber minus 160, but I didn't want in a WNBA game 3.5. You could get backdoored just like an NBA game. I laid the 160 here. Hey, we're looking good in the first half. Long way to go there, but at least at this point, I think we're on the right side. We just need a victory, and we don't have to worry.
All right. How about the slumping We lost him. Okay, well, we'll get back with Jeff. The connection dropped out there for a second, but I will say his other game was well. I'll tell you, Minnesota right now leads it, Joe, 52-47. They're approaching halftime, 99 points. Boy, listen, these women can score. I've always said that in WNBA. They can shoot the ball, but 99 points at halftime is a lot of points. So the over-under there is 175.5. I think we got Jeff back now. Jeff, so we got Minnesota money line. What was your second WNBA play?
The other flip, New York travels to Phoenix. Overnight, New York was 2-point favorites. Currently, right now, Phoenix is 1.5-point favorites. I got caught in the middle of one of these a couple weeks ago, and I'm not going to get the banana in my tailpipe this second time around here, guys. We're going to play Phoenix. We're going to play money line, but we're going to play them in the first half. So I don't care if the Liberty wins by 50 in the second half. I like Phoenix here. I like them in the first half here, only minus 115. So we're playing the flip, but we're just going to play it for the first half, guys. Phoenix minus 115 first half.
Nice price in the first half there. Are you going to think about anything with the total here or any player props, Jeff?
I looked at the total 166 overnight, now 168.5. I lean towards the over here, especially if Phoenix can control the pace. Phoenix can get out. I like New York from a chasing standpoint versus New York getting out and Phoenix on the chasing point. I think it might get to 170, guys. But again, I kind of just dove into the first half and said, after the halftime, we're moving on, guys.
Okay. Baseball, good start for your Royals-Dodgers play tonight, right?
Well, this Royals has been my kryptonite, guys. And I have to say that. And I've been staring at this game all morning, afternoon. The Dodgers team total was 5.5, juiced to the under. The Royals was 4.5. It wasn't a flat 4. It wasn't 3.5. It smelt to me I can get plus 120. So we went over 4.5 plus the 120. First 1 to 5, maybe even 6 wins this game. Royals did score 1 in the first. They left second and third, which could have got us to 3 early. And the other good factor is I think the Royals will be trailing, and I think we'll be getting that 9th inning at bat as well. So hopefully at least the guaranteed 27 outs here, guys, unless we score 5, and I don't care after that.
Absolutely. In some later night action, we do have the Washington Nationals taking on the LA Angels. Where are you going to go with this one?
Yeah, a great pitching matchup. Who would have said something like that with these two and Soriano and Irvin? I think Irvin's more the Jekyll and the Hyde here. And it was a 4.5 and then a 5 in the first 5. So I'm going to get cute here, guys. I'm going to take the Angels team total over 2.5 in the first 5. And I got that at even money. Maybe 2 guys on, a 3-run homer in the first. The Angels have been hitting homers. They were minus almost 200 to win this series here. So I like them tonight here. But Irvin's been that Jekyll or Hyde guy. So I'm hoping that he doesn't have it tonight. We get to 3 and we move on.
All right. Other late game, Arizona at home against Miami. Joe and I talked about this earlier about Arizona. Seems just been a season-long funk. I'm waiting for them to jump out of things, or Jeff rather, to jump out of things and win like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. But they're hosting a Miami team that's coming off a 3-game sweep at San Francisco. Believe it or not. What do you like in this one?
Looking for a way to get in here. Listen, the Perez for Miami here, he can pitch when he's on. And this Corbin Burns, this D-back team that we had so much high expectation for has kind of crashed. And as you said, Scott, looking to get some momentum in probably the toughest division in the NL West here. So again, I like the pitching matchup. I slight edge to the D-backs. We took them minus a half run in the first 5. That was minus 120. The under over first 5, I think, is a 5. So it looks like first 1 to 3 here wins this. I'm leaning D-backs 3-2, 4-1, something like that in the first 5.
Okay, Jeff, I know you're a big CFL guy. What are you thinking with this game? Montreal right now up a 4-1. You called it a Freaky Friday, right? Like, is anyone going to put some points on the board tonight, or what's happening out there with the Montreal Alouettes and the Hamilton Ticats?
Joe, we have been on fire in the CFL. We've been crushing the team totals. What we've been able to do is find the favorite who we think's going to win the game. And I think 7 out of 8 team totals have gone over. And this one I was staring at all day, all week. First one to 24 or 25 wins this game. So we have the Montreal Alouettes over 24.5. And it was even money. If you wanted 23.5 at DraftKings, it was minus 135. Then it went to 140. It went as high as 150. So I need Montreal to get to 25 or better. Hey, we got 4. So hey, we just need 3 touchdowns. That's all.
Or 25 or so missed extra points or field goals or whatever you get for 1 point in the CFL. What a goofy league. I mean, it took me an hour this morning to try and find out if poor Joe hit her SGP because no one offers scores, and not even scores. I went on a 4-letter network. I went on CBS Sports. Not even like an icon for CFL. It's crazy. Jeff, what do you think? I don't know how deep you delve into the NHL draft, but Schaefer goes number 1 as expected to the Islanders. Any impressions? Bennett re-signs with Florida. Great re-signing for the Florida Panthers, right? Your impressions of the NHL so far tonight with the draft and everything else going on?
Yeah, we talked backstage. The Bruins at 7 got the kid from BC, Hagens. Now the locals, as you know, Felger and Mazel, of course they had to take a local guy. Do your damn homework. I mean, he's from BC, blah, 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 blah. But I was excited they got the local. Schaefer was a touching story. His mom had passed to breast cancer, and they had the ribbon right there. And I think they had her initials on the jersey. Nice touch by the Islanders and the Flyers as well. It's been good. The regular season, the playoffs are all over. NBA draft, NHL draft. What's next?
Yeah, just baseball. That's it. Baseball and baseball
and
baseball.
CFL and CFL.
Yeah, and CFL, if you can figure out the scoring and if you can figure out what the scores are. Yeah. Jeff Dawson, EastCoastSportsInvestors.com for all his plays. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, guys.
As we know, it's just we enter every year and it's, is this the Ravens' time? Is this Lamar Jackson's turn? Can they get past the Chiefs and all of these other, stalwarts of the AFC? But it's always really about Kansas City when we're talking Baltimore.
This potentially, Adam, as I send it back to you, potentially is a game changer in that you get a very talented quarter at a discount price.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Oklahoma City now becomes one of 4 NBA teams ever, one of 3 NBA champs ever to win at least 84 total regular season and postseason games.
It's just the beginning, Ben, and you just look at a team with, these guys at such a young age, and, Chet's got a team option, Ismail Dieng has a team option, Jalen Williams team option, Keyshawn Wallace team option. Hey, Ben, they're all coming back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We are seeing unbelievable temperature surges over the past couple of days. So I wanted to ask you this question to let the people know, how do we account for that in our handicapping? 2 good pitchers on the mound, but you look at a place like Wrigley Field, let's just say, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 90-plus degree temperatures. Is it almost like you say to yourself, you just have to fade the environment and not worry about the pitches because if we're hitting fly balls, they're going yard?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
It was the first time, I think, in Dodgers history that the ballpark was full in the first inning. Everybody was there to see Shohei Ohtani throw his first pitch as a Dodger, and I had mixed emotions about this for a few reasons. Number one, it was a reminder of, wow, this is so crazy, right? You're watching him hit 98, 99, even 100 on the radar gun going, this guy's not human. Nobody should be able to be this good of a hitter and this good of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today. only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Scott and Joe, thanks again. Jeff Dawson, EastCoastSportsInvestors.com. We'll say an update. Hamilton scored. I know you guys are on Montreal, but as long as Hamilton keeps on scoring, it kind of gives obviously the extra incentive for Montreal to score. Not that they wouldn't want to anyway, but you know what I mean. The carrot is out there. 8-4 Hamilton over Montreal, over the Alouettes as they play. I'm guessing first quarter. FanDuel doesn't offer what quarters they're in for some reason or another, but 8-4 first half, we'll just say. Back to the baseball board, Joe. Pirates still 5-1 over the Mets, bottom 6. Stankies 3-0, a chance to blow it open, but Aaron Judge strikes out with the bases loaded, so it's still a relative close game in the 6th inning. The under-over is now at 6.5. Again, didn't quite understand why that went up to 8.5. The team is 13-1 under, and they're going to boost the number up from 8 to 8.5. So that's looking halfway decent. Your Blue Jays still 3-0 over my Red Sox. Cardinals, we talked about all those games left off. St. Louis 4-0 over Cleveland, Joe. Laying 3.5 minus 180. They're in the bottom of the 7th. Well, that's a fast-moving game. Bottom of the 7th already in Cleveland. I imagine not too many hits. Over-under is 5.5. Cardinals playing halfway decent baseball. Cleveland had a nice little Cinderella run last year, but they can't get out of their own shadow. Cardinals 7-3 their last 10. Cleveland 7-11 their last 18. So didn't really have a strong feeling on this one. And I don't really like it now with a 3-0 or 4-0 rather lead. So I'm going to stay clear, but maybe the over 5.5, you 2 more runs, bottom of the 7th. You're going to get the bottom of the 9th inning. So you got 2.5 more at bats for everybody. Maybe that's a way to go.
Yeah, that seems too low. I originally took the under 8.5, so I'm a little nervous with taking it to the over, but 5.5, Scott, I can't take that to the under. I just can't get there. Looking at these games where we're seeing teams being shut out right now, which team would you feel more comfortable coming back in on? Because the A's are down 3-0 to the Yankees. I can't touch it. The Cardinals are up 4-0 over the Guardians. So you got the Guardians plus 3.5 at plus 138. Not sure I'm comfortable with that, but maybe it's your Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox down 3-0 to my Toronto Blue Jays, but we know the Jays, we know the bullpen here, and Bello's still in this lineup, so I'm not sure I want to touch it as of yet, as the Jays do have a runner out there on first. But right now the Red Sox are plus 3.5, but that juice minus 166. Just seeing that, Scott, you can't even jump on that kind of juice. But I do think Boston will make a game of it at some point.
Yeah, Barrios, he's got 7 strikeouts, so he hit his over 5.5, so we hit that one. 71 pitches, I'll say only, but it's about the norm through 5. Could be a little bit less, but point is he's good for another inning at least, right? So if I was going to, you're right, it probably would be Boston since they're at home. They would be the one, and it's the Toronto bullpen eventually, but I would wait another inning, let Barrios pitch the bottom of the 6th inning, if he will, which I imagine he would with only 71 pitches. Then your number's got to go even higher. And then, because what you're betting against really the Toronto bullpen, right? I mean, Barrios has been terrific. I wouldn't bet against him at this point. So as long as he's still in the game, I wouldn't bet it. But if he gets yanked after 6, like he might do, if he throws 85, 86, 87 pitches, then I would go with Boston. But yeah, Red Sox would probably be the one. Not that I'm very comfortable with that position, but either the Red Sox or Tigers. Tigers are down 2-0 also. You're right. We got a lot of shutouts. It's crazy. 4-0 Cincinnati over San Diego, 2-0 Twinkies over Detroit, top of the 6th inning. Get the Tigers plus 3-1 if you like that one a lot. 4 more at bats for Detroit.
Right? That's a really nice price there for the Detroit Tigers, especially at home. Yeah. Is it Herter out for them tonight, or is it Hunter? I'm just seeing his name. It looks like Herter in my my FanDuel app. Hunter. It's got to be Hunter, right? Not Herter. Okay.
Herter.
It is Herter. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Was it yesterday, Scott, that we were sitting here and we saw all of those shutout losses to those teams? I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. There was a whole bunch of them as well. So
yesterday afternoon we were talking about how low the old story was getaway day. So yeah. Festa has got 6 strikeouts for the Twinkies, throwing a shutout, 1-hit baseball for Minnesota. He's got 64 pitches, threw only 5. That's not bad versus the 71 that Berrios has. So but it is still David Festa. So he's got an ERA over 6. David Festa's got to turn into David Festa for us tonight. But I'm taking my chances. He will. So you want to give me the Tigers plus 3-1? Now it's there it goes, plus 320. That's not a bad little bet. I do that versus the 2.5 at minus 182. I wouldn't do that one.
Well, yeah, I'm feeling pretty uncomfortable because I just looked at my bet slips and I did lay the 1.5 with the Tigers. I was like, come on, did I? I knew in the back of my mind that I did. So I laid 1.5 at plus 146. I'll invest again on that money line because you said it. David Festa, he's just had those struggles. That ERA is over 6 and that whip is a 1.61. I know a lot of people were talking about today that he's going to bounce back. He's going to have that strong game here for the Minnesota Twins. I didn't buy into it then. I'm not buying into it now that he can still hold solid out there, or that the Twins bullpen can hold solid. So give me the Tigers. I like where you're going with that one, Scott.
All right. Royals put a second run on the board. So if you followed Jeff, who was on, said he liked the Kansas City team total. It was still 4.5 when he talked about that is an in-game line bet that you can make. Some bets you can't, but that is one. So they got 2. They got a runner on second base against Dustin May. Still trailing the Dodgers 3-1, but that one's got seemingly 10-7 written all over it. So it's locked right now. I'll let you know when that one opens up and give you some updated lines on that one. San Fran, the White Sox 1-1. I didn't trust San Fran. I had them last series against Miami. They lost 3 in a row. They should beat the White Sox, but here they sit 1-1, top of the 5th inning. Minus 156. I won't do it, Joe. Just chances are they win the game, but you lose 3 at home to Miami. I have no faith in them on the road against anybody.
No, and that total coming into that was 9. It was way too high in my opinion. We know the Giants have been struggling to get those runs on the board. It's 6.5 plus 118 to the under. Scott, can we go under 6.5? I would.
Yeah, I think so. The way the Giants are hitting or not hitting. Definitely. So, all right, quick break. We'll come back, close out hour number 1 with our Black Cloud play of the day.
As we know, it's just we enter every year and it's like, is this the Ravens' time? Is this Lamar Jackson's turn? Can they get past the Chiefs and all of these other stalwarts of the AFC? But it's always really about Kansas City when we're talking Baltimore.
This potentially, Adam, as I send it back to you, potentially is a game changer in that you get a very talented quarter at a discount price.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Oklahoma City now becomes one of 4 NBA teams ever, one of 3 NBA champs ever to win at least 84 total regular season and postseason games.
It's just the beginning, Ben, and you just look at a team with, these guys at such a young age, and, Chet's got a team option, Ismael Dieng has a team option, Jalen Williams team option, Keyshawn Wallace team option. Hey, Ben, they're all coming back.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We are seeing unbelievable temperature surges over the past couple days. So I wanted to ask you this question to let the people know, how do we account for that in our handicapping? 2 good pitchers on the mound, but you look at a place like Wrigley Field, let's just say, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 90-plus degree temperatures. Is it almost like you say to yourself, you just have to fade the environment and not worry about the pitchers? Because if we're hitting fly balls, they're going yard.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Was the first time I think in Dodgers history that the ballpark was full in the first inning. Everybody was there to see Shohei Ohtani throw his first pitch as a Dodger, and I had mixed emotions about this for a few reasons. Number one, it was a reminder of, wow, this is so crazy, right? You're watching him hit 98, 99, even 100 on the radar gun going, this guy's not human. Nobody should be able to be this good of a hitter and this good of a pitcher
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Joe closing out hour number 1 with our Black Cloud Play of the Day. All right, with only 2 baseball games, a couple of WNBA games, we're going to venture over to the WNBA. Why not? We use baseball for our SGP. We got a couple of them. I'm going to choose the Chicago-Seattle Storm game. I'm going to go over. I'm not going to lay the 19.5 points. That's just too goofy. But I do think we're going to get some points in this game. The key for me is that Seattle is coming off a home loss. Not only a loss, and they're one of the better teams, but a home loss to Indiana earlier in the week. So they didn't play well, put up a bunch of points, but gave up a bunch of points. They're an over team. Chicago is arguably the worst team in the WNBA, not necessarily record-wise, but they're at the bottom of the barrel. They're in Connecticut, right? And Dallas. Chicago 4-10. They give up a gazillion points. They average giving up 88 points a game. They could score. They average 78 points. So 156 for a WNBA game is not a lot. It really isn't. So I'm thinking somewhere in the line of a 95-75 type of win. Game goes over the 156. Maybe Dallas, or maybe Seattle covers the 19.5, but again, who wants to lay 19.5, right? So let's just go with the over. Can't lose. We hit our last WNBA play on Tuesday over Indiana, Seattle. We're 49-27 with our Black Cloud, Joe. So let's keep your fingers crossed. As long as Chicago can put up 70, is in that 70 to 75 range, and I think they will, then this will sail past the 156. I'm really looking for like 165 points or more.
Yeah, and I do think we get there. Now, we can isolate those teams' points. Chicago's got a number of 74.5. They got to go under that, right?
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I hope not. I got the over, so I want them to, I hope they get 85 points. Heck, they could win outright for all I care, as long as I get the over 156.5.
Yeah.
So, I think it's going to be a blowout game, and in blowout games, you get less defense, right? So you want to play over 74.5 Chicago? I would do it. They average 78 points a game, like I said, and in blowout games, chances are defense, especially in the fourth quarter, there won't be too much. So, yeah, I'll take my chance. Like I said, 156 is not a big number for a WNBA game. That's one of the lower numbers you'll see. Like, case in point, like the other game tonight, 168. Chicago Golden State is 158, but still that's more than 156 now. The other games over the weekend, 163, 167, 177. So we're getting a real low number for a basketball game. I'll take my chances we get there.
Yeah, I do think we get there. Golden State's totals 83.5. That's light. It's really light for that team, Scott. Yeah, it's minus 115 only to the over.
Yeah, you got some, whether it's Connecticut against Seattle, whether it's Chicago against Golden State, you got some bad teams in the WNBA. You're getting a little separation of the good teams are the good teams and the bad teams are the bad teams. You get some in the middle, but man, those bottom teams, Chicago and Connecticut, Los Angeles, they're not good. They're not good. So anyway, Black Cloud Play of the Day over in the Seattle game. Back to the baseball. Well, actually, we're there. So why don't we just update the scores? Minnesota and Atlanta, 58-56. A lot of people bet Minnesota today. They were laying 3.5, up 2, third quarter, midway through. Over under 177.5. Remember, they had the 99 points at halftime. That's slowing down a little bit second half. Indiana without Caitlin Clark, Joe, leading Dallas 68-61. 3.5 minutes left to go in the third. They're now laying 4.5 as a slight underdog to start the game. Over under 186.5. Yikes! Now that's a big number. So, any interest in either one of those two games?
Yeah, that is quite the number. But I do think Indiana, we see the Fever continue to battle in this game. I know we saw them last night have those struggles out there on the court, but they were looking ahead to this game. And I do think even though I don't want to lay the 4.5, I couldn't get there with the Dallas Wings plus the points right now. So it's Indiana. That line just moved to 6.5, Scott. They're laying 6.5 at minus 108 currently. That's too many points for me to lay, but if it comes down, I'd jump on it.
Yeah, that bumped up awfully quickly, didn't it? There when it was 2.5, 3.5 a second or so ago. So yeah, we'll lay off that one now. Let's see if that can come down a little bit. So we got the three others. We'll take a peek at on the other side. We got baseball though coming up. Rob Donaldson, UnderdogFantasy.com will join us. He'll throw us some winners. Keep your fingers crossed with his plays. Second hour in-game live game day coming up on the grid.
As we know, it's just we enter every year and it's like, is this the Ravens' time? Is this Lamar Jackson's turn? Can they get past the Chiefs and all of these other, stalwarts of the AFC? But it's always really about Kansas City when we're talking Baltimore.
This potentially, Adam, as I send it back to you, potentially is a game changer in that you get a very talented quarter at a discount price.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Oklahoma City now becomes one of 4 NBA teams ever, one of 3 NBA champs ever to win at least 84 total regular season and postseason games.
It's just the beginning, Ben, and you just look at a team with, these guys at such a young age, and, Chet's got a team option, Ismail Dieng has a team option, Jalen Williams team option, Keyshawn Wallace team option. Hey, Ben, they're all coming back.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We are seeing unbelievable temperature surges over the past couple of days. So I wanted to ask you this question to let the people know, how do we account for that in our handicapping? 2 good pitchers on the mound, but you look at a place like Wrigley Field, let's just say, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 90-plus degree temperatures. Is it almost like you say to yourself, you just have to fade the environment and not worry about the pitchers, because if we're hitting fly balls, they're going yard?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
It was the first time, I think, in Dodgers history that the ballpark was full in the first inning. Everybody was there to see Shohei Ohtani throw his first pitch as a Dodger, and I had mixed emotions about this for a few reasons. Number one, it was a reminder of, wow, this is so crazy, right? You're watching him hit 98, 99, even 100 on the radar gun going, this guy's not human. Nobody should be able to be this good of a hitter and this good of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live Game Day here on a fabulous Friday. Scott Wetzel, Joe Madden, one more hour. Gabe Morency and Cam Stewart at the top of the hour to take you over the next 2 here on the grid. Back to the baseball board we go with our next guest. You see and hear him all the time here on the grid. His website, UnderdogFantasy.com, for all his plays, all his picks, and all the action that he gives us. And that is Mr. Rob Donaldson. What's going on, Rob, Scott, Joe? How are you tonight, bud?
Hey man, I'm doing good. Happy Friday to you guys. And like I kind of mentioned before I hopped on here, it's been a roller coaster. I'm on Orioles money line, and I've gone through a range of emotions in this early window.
And you're leading now, right? You're down 6-0, and now you're actually leading, right?
Yeah, down 6-0 after 1.5 innings, and now up 8-7 with 4 innings to go, or 3 innings to go rather. Who knows how this game is going to end at this point?
Okay, now you would have got Baltimore going into this game for a slight plus money. The Tampa Bay Rays are now plus 285 underdog. Any thoughts on hedging here?
No, and in large part, it actually came down to the Rays bullpen being a little bit toast. Fairbanks has been used twice in a row already. Clevenger coming into this game had already been used, I think, for about a 40 pitch count over the last 4 days or so. And those are their top relievers. Those are the guys that get it done from the right-handed side of the bump and also the left-handed side of the bump. And that's kind of how you have to attack the Orioles, who feature a really actually kind of balanced lineup now after not being able to hit lefties, period, at the start of the season. And so that's kind of why I thought the Orioles could explode offensively here in the back end of this game. And I guess it just happened a lot faster than I expected.
Yeah. Your other game is also, not necessarily as crazy, but certainly you're in the bag with this one, I would think, and put the Wetzel black cloud on you there. St. Louis, 5-0 already over Cleveland. Anyway, bottom of the 8th inning. So I don't know if there's a way you could still bet that if you wanted to.
I think an under would be a really great play, even with runners on the corners, 2 outs right now for the Cardinals. And in large part because I think the Cardinals can fasten up this game with all the relievers they have healthy and available game. And the Cleveland Guardians on the other side, this is the worst offense in baseball in the month of June. I mean, when you only score 60 runs or so in an entire month, things aren't going as to plan. And that's kind of been the MO. And that's really why I like the Cardinals tonight.
Willing to double down on your Boston Red Sox bet? The Toronto Blue Jays are leading this one 3-0, but we do have Abello out of the game now. Guerrero out to pitch for the Boston Red Sox. They are plus 1,060 on the money line, or plus 3.5 at plus 116 on that run line, Rob.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I thought they could get out of the first 5 frames with either kind of a knotted differential of, 3-3, 2-2, or potentially even having the lead on a fastball dominant pitcher like Jose Barrios. And that has not come to fruition. Now, when you're relying on the Red Sox bullpen to hold pat and also get after the Blue Jays bullpen, and you already have 2 runners on, nobody out for the Jays, I feel like you should actually do the reverse and lay the run line at this point.
All right. Cubs game, how'd you attack that one against the Houston Astros? It's 1-0 Houston. I will add bottom of the 3rd inning. Houston minus 265, Cubbies plus 2-1.
Yeah, and when you look at Walter, he's a guy that coming into his first couple starts of the Astros, he was really rolling. He wasn't giving up a lot of hits, period, and he also wasn't giving up a lot of runs, but he was giving up a ton of hard contact, and that's why last time out against the Angels, I kind of saw an opportunity to take a lot of right-handed batter props, and a lot of them came to fruition. Mike Trout went yard, Taylor Ward had a really good night, Joe Adell even went yard, and in tonight's game, there are a lot of right-handed bats in that Cubs lineup that are hitting baseballs really hard. Say a Suzuki, Ian Happ, to name a couple, and I really did key in on say a Suzuki. I think he's going to have a really good back end of this game, and I took the over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. I still think that's a really good value at this point.
I like where you went with that one. We've got the Dodgers and the Kansas City Royals in action. Now, this one has started off to be a higher scoring affair, with the Kansas City Royals actually putting 4 runs on the board. The LA Dodgers with 3. This total has shot up from a 9.5 all the way up to 13.5, with heavy juice to that over at minus 130. Dustin May out here pitching for the Dodgers. I would have thought he would have been able to do more in this game to limit the bats. What are you thinking, Rob?
Yeah, and sometimes, honestly, the Royals limit themselves, which is why you can kind of bet the under in a lot of their games, regardless who's pitching on the other side. Unfortunately, I was on the under 9.5. That does feel a little bit toast, because even if the Royals go dormant, I don't know if the Dodgers are going to follow suit, especially after Noah Cameron's already kind of run up his pitch count. Do I feel kind of convicted on a live line one way or another with a total? Probably not. I think it's probably just kind of rolling the dice at that point. But if you want to take a shot, maybe take a shot on the Dodgers on the run line. I don't know if the Royals can score consistently, even with 4 on the board here.
All right. Miami and Arizona, first pitch in about 40 minutes or so. Perez versus Kelly. The all of a sudden red-hot Miami Marlins, after sweeping San Francisco in San Francisco, which is amazing, getting 144. Arizona laying $172, 8.5 the total. How are you attacking that one?
Yeah, and when you can muster up, offense and Oracle, that's no small feat. Even if you're the Marlins, it doesn't really matter. I mean, that's not a hitter-friendly ballpark, and they were going yard. They were hitting gaps. Now, I love Merrill Kelly. I have an affinity for the guy. I've been backing him since he came into the league, it kind of feels like. And, every single time he goes out there, it's like he's pitching a quality start by definition. 6 innings pitched at least, 3 earned runs or less, and I do feel like the Marlins are going to come back a little bit down to earth after that, a really surprising performance in San Francisco. And on the other side, Yuri Perez, I really do think there's positive, regression in his future really, really fast here. And for that reason, I'm on the under of 8.5. I got it at even odds, and I think it's a really good angle.
I like where you're going with that angle. The Baltimore Orioles still leading that game 8-7. They have a runner out there on first. Rob, wanted to let you know because I know you're sweating that one. But anything else on the board catching your eye alive right now? The Yankees are sitting 3-0 over the A's. The A's plus 3.5. Oh, look at that juice. Minus 270. You always see those plus 3.5 like run lines. I hate the kind of juice.
I'm right there with you, and kind of scanning over the board. There's nothing that I'm too in love with. We actually have quite a few blowouts and major differentials already in terms of the run scoring department. But if you want to take a crazy shot right now, I kind of felt like this was a chance in the beginning part of this game as well. But Kyle Freeland's on the bump for the Rockies, and I get it. He is not the most trustworthy dude in the world, but when you're getting a crazy plus money price against a team like the Brewers, who kind of almost shoot themselves out of games with like their inability to score when runners are in scoring position, I do feel like if the Rockies can put up 2 or 3 in this game, they are 100% live to win it, and I think they can potentially get it done tonight.
All right, couple of games here I'll throw at you. One was in a rain delay, but they're going to be starting in a little bit, apparently. Philadelphia and Atlanta, and then the Yankee game. Back to that for a second, Rob. The Yankees are on a 13-1 under run, and the line went from 8 to 8.5, which makes no sense to me. And here we sit 3-0, in the 6th inning, and the over-under is way down to 3.5, back bottom of the 7th, actually. And then Philadelphia and Atlanta, after watching the Braves play against the Mets this week, man, that Braves offense stinks. They've scored 1 run or less in basically a quarter of their games, 16 out of their 20 games. How is that game getting to 10 runs at a 9.5 total?
Micah Bell and Bryce Elder are 2 of the same pod, and these are 2 guys that, started off their careers really, really hot in terms of low ERA numbers, but give up a ton of hard hits. I actually see that game going over through the first 5 frames at least.
Well, all right, there you go. Rob Donaldson, great job, man. UnderdogFantasy.com. Thanks, Rob. We'll do it again soon.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
2 guys that can do it all. It's
too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of thoughts.
18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups. My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Pages. Let's get lucky.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Cruising along, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Thank the Rob Donaldson, UnderdogFantasy.com, joining us on this fabulous Friday. All right, back to we'll start with WNBA. Why not? A couple of games. Minnesota, close one against Atlanta, 69-68. They close out the third quarter there, 37 seconds left. Lynx, only 2 losses all season. One of them, their last game. Most people figured they would bounce back. We'll see. Laying 2.5. And then you could get, which is silly because to me, I'd just assume if I was going to take Atlanta, you get 2.5, I suppose, but you're getting 2-1 on the money line with the Dream. So Indiana holding on to a 7-point lead over Dallas. We're kind of hoping that drops down a little bit, but it's 6.5 still a little pricey. They've just begun the fourth quarter down in Dallas, over under 182.5. Scoring did slow down in that Minnesota game. That's the one where we had the 99 points in the first half. Not quite the same, but still 175.5 is your over-under on that one. CFL, Joe, early second half. It's still 8-4 Hamilton over Montreal, so that over 25.5 points Montreal. You're going to need a little help with that one. So any thoughts on those before we get back to the baseball board?
Yeah, I think that 174.5 for Minnesota and the Atlanta Dream. If you didn't take that number over before, I'd look at to go over now, Scott. I do think we can hit 175. I do think here we're in the second half of the CFL game that we're going to see success out of Montreal. We know Hamilton's defense has absolutely fallen apart in these games. They've held strong to start this one as they're driving down the field looking to put more points on the board themselves. Bo Levi Mitchell just attempted a passing touchdown and it was hit away. So we'll see if they're able to do it. You guys know I'm riding on Lawler there of Montreal to be able to get that long reception of 30 plus receiving yards. He did get the touchdown, Scott. So if you took him for a touchdown tonight, he was right around that plus 110 mark. But still, there is no live numbers, no updated numbers. We'll have to wait to see after the game if he was able to get a reception of 30 or more yards, because the books, they don't grade it till probably an hour after. You're sitting on those CFL tickets for a long time.
Yeah, it's so hard to find the results. It really is. It's crazy. So, baseball, Pittsburgh 9-1. Oh, poor Vinny, our producer, who's at the game. He traveled 400 miles to go see his Mets lose in ugly fashion. 9-1, bottom of the seventh inning. Good news, I guess, for him is he's going to go to tomorrow's games and Sunday's games as well. But that would be, man, could you imagine the Mets getting swept? This poor guy drives all the way across the country here to go see a Mets-Pirates series. You think, okay, at worst, I'm going to win, 2 out of the 3 against the last place Pirates? But anyway, 9-1, not off to a good start. The beers will be flowing tonight for Vinny, I'm sure. Yankees, that's really unbettable, right? So Yankees still 3-0 over the A's, Joe. I mean, they're going to be 14-1, barring something crazy here, under last 15 games, which is just amazing. The only thing I'd say is at top of the 8th inning, you got an inning and a half. They're giving you 3.5 for the total. Can we get one more run? Can the A's put one on the board? Could the Stankies put one more on the board? Bottom of the 8th inning. You wanted to take a flyer? I would, that's where I would go. I wouldn't put a lot on it, but I got an inning and a half. Why not give me the over 3.5 in the 3-0 game?
Oh, absolutely. There's every possibility of that one hitting the over 3.5. It's like juice too at minus 104. Did you see the Toronto Blue Jays actually put 2 more runs on the board? They did have bases loaded though at the top of the 7th there and weren't able to bring those 3 runners home with 3 outs or going down to the bottom of the 7th. So we'll see what your Boston Red Sox respond with. But at plus 4.5, Scott, against his bullpen, it's plus 118 for your Red Sox plus the 4.5. I think it's worth it. Do you?
No, I mean, because it's minus 158. Yeah, Oh no,
I'm
it
getting
actually it's for
plus
favor. Yeah, the other way.
118.
Yeah, 118. My mind is
Okay.
scrambled tonight. So yeah, yeah. If you're giving me money, you want to double down on it. Plus 118. You're down 5-zip. You got 3 at bats left, right? Theoretically, so that or I would say the over 6.5, but that's minus 172. I would definitely wouldn't do that. Yeah, if you were gonna play it, it would be 4.5. Now we talked about this before, so let's just see how many pitches Berrios has now. Because if he's still going to be pitching, then I wouldn't. He is at he's at 80 pitches. I wouldn't do it, Joe. If he's coming out for the bottom of the 7th, and I think he is, I would just wait. This guy's been dealing. Allowed just 4 hits. That's Berrios still on the hill. He struck out 7. Only 80 pitches. He's good for another 10 to 15. So I like Flyers, but I wouldn't do it. I really wouldn't. Not until he's out of the game.
Oh, yeah. And then you got to attack the bullpen of Toronto.
Yeah.
So I like it, Scott. Good call.
Tigers still being shut out. Boy, at home, 4-0. Didn't see that one coming from Minnesota. Minnesota hasn't been playing good ball. Tigers have. That's a surprise. That would be one. You're getting 3.5 now, plus 108 in a 4-0 game with Detroit. I'd be more comfortable with Detroit than I would the Red Sox. Let's put it that way. Or how about the Dodgers? Dodgers, you're getting plus 134, bottom of the 4th inning. That's a good bet.
It's got to be the Dodgers. It's got to be the Dodgers. What even could we get on the alt run line? Laying 1.5. They're going to win it by a couple runs, aren't they? If they win, Scott? Alt run
what
line?
is that?
Can we get greedy?
Probably what? Plus 2 to 1, maybe? Let's see.
Let's just see. The Dodgers laying 1.5 plus 225. Like 2.5 plus 360. I won't get that greedy. Be a little bit greedy. Lay 1.5.
Yeah. I would play them straight and put a couple shekels on the lane to run and a half when everything is said and done. Yeah. I mean, 4th inning, you get the whole game. And it's that number now because Kansas City is batting. If Kansas City doesn't score and they're not threatening, that'll come down a little bit as well. So, yeah, Dodgers plus 134, lay a run and a half, getting over 2 to 1 on that. That's not too bad. In a 4-3 game, runs are going to be scored. So, Astros 7-0 over the Cubs and Brewers 6-0 over the Rockies. Just keep betting against Colorado, Joe. I mean, they're bad. They're just statement of the year. Going out on a limb on that one. But, they're just
6-0. Wow. I wish I went bigger on that game.
Yeah. Got a runner on base in the A's-Yankees game. Now the over-runner's up to 4.5. How about that?
As we know, it's just we enter every year and it's like, is this the Ravens' time? Is this Lamar Jackson's turn? Can they get past the Chiefs and all of these other, stalwarts of the AFC? But it's always really about Kansas City when we're talking Baltimore.
This potentially, Adam, as I send it back to you, potentially is a game changer in that you get a very talented quarter at a discount price.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Oklahoma City now becomes one of 4 NBA teams ever, one of 3 NBA champs ever to win at least 84 total regular season and postseason games.
It's just the beginning, Ben, and you just look at a team with, these guys at such a young age, and, Chet's got a team option, Ismail Dieng has a team option, Jalen Williams team option, Keyshawn Wallace team option. Hey, Ben, they're all coming back.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We are seeing unbelievable temperature surges over the past couple days. So I wanted to ask you this question to let the people know, how do we account for that in our handicapping? 2 good pitchers on the mound, but you look at a place like Wrigley Field, let's just say, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 90-plus degree temperatures. Is it almost like you say to yourself, you just have to fade the environment and not worry about the pitchers? Because if we're hitting fly balls, they're going yard.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
was the first time I think in Dodgers history that the ballpark was full in the first inning. Everybody was there to see Shohei Ohtani throw his first pitch as a Dodger, and I had mixed emotions about this for a few reasons. Number one, it was a reminder of, wow, this is so crazy, right? You're watching him hit 98, 99, even 100 on the radar gun going, this guy's not human. Nobody should be able to be this good of a hitter and this good of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Joe just following all the baseball action, little WNBA, some CFL as well. So got the one game that just finished up. This one was cruising, and it went fast. St. Louis shut out Cleveland 5-0, so that's in the bag. Cardinals get the win there. Still 11-7 now. Baltimore over Tampa Bay, which was leading at 1.6-0, and the Devil Dogs are now trailing by 4. Stanky's Joe got runners on first and third. Still 3-0. We need one more run for over 3.5. 2 outs. I will say that. So keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully we can get another run across the board. San Fran's taking a 3-1 lead over the White Sox. Didn't like that game after seeing what San Fran did against Miami. We talked about that, but top of the 6th inning, they had to lay minus 460. So that's don't want to do that, and would never bet on the White Sox. So forget about that one. Still looking at the Dodgers down 4-3. Astros 7-0 over the Cubs. A lot of blowouts tonight. That was a nothing game. I think Houston scored 7 in the 4th inning, to tell you the truth. If not pretty close to it, because that was 0-0. Let me see. 7-0. They scored 4 in the 3rd and 3 in the 4th. So this Houston team's not a bad little team. It's taken them a little while, but they're kind of getting into their groove, Joe. I like this Astros. You still get them at 11-1 to win the World Series. That's not a bad price. There really isn't.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad price at all. I was looking at the Houston Astros to come out nice and strong today versus the Chicago Cubs, but I didn't expect them to come out this strong in this game, completely shutting them out here. So we're at the top of the 5th. We do have the Astros up 7-0. So we're looking there at that run line being 6.5. Now laying the 6.5 with the Houston Astros, just not somewhere I want to go because of the juice at minus 182, but I won't be shocked if this is one of those games where the Astros do completely hold the Cubs off the board. We saw the Astros so strong versus the Phillies over the weekend, and the Phillies being able to limit the bats of the Astros, but the Astros still winning those in lower scoring games. So interesting there. I still am in love with the Dodgers right now, laying that run line, laying the 1.5 as they're down 4-0. We do, though, have a runner for Kansas City out there on second, Scott, at the bottom of the 4th. So I don't know. I'd probably wait a hot minute, see if they get this runner home, and then still look at that run line, even if they're up 5-3.
Yeah, at that point, if it's 5-3, you might not need to lay the 1.5. If you get 2-1 on the Dodgers, that's how I won't get too greedy. So you mentioned Philadelphia, Joe. They were supposed to start earlier tonight against Atlanta. Rain delay. They are supposed to, according to FanDuel anyway, throw the first pitch in about 10 minutes or so. So it is Atlanta with Bryce Elder on the hill, minus 184. Against Mick Abel and the Philadelphia Phillies. Boy, that's a huge number. This Atlanta team is not that good. Something's weird with this game. That should be closer to pick 'em, not minus 184. The Phillies are in first place. The Braves are in next to last. I don't get that. The over-under is 9.5. Atlanta 7-2 under their last 9. They couldn't hit their way out of a paper bag against the Mets for the most part. They've been held to 1 run or less in 16 of their 80 games, 2 runs or less in 20 of their 80 games. They can't score. Philadelphia's 9-4 their last 13. I get that. They didn't get swept down in Houston, as you mentioned, Joe, but I don't know. You want to give me the Phillies with that big number? What am I missing? I'll take them plus 154.
Well, yeah, the plus 154, it really stands out. It's the Phillies, right? You got to expect Abel to come out here strong. He's a rookie, so he's going to have to play to his best tonight here versus the Atlanta Braves. But this Braves team doesn't give me a lot of stress. Their offense is kind of hit or miss, I found on the season, and I think they will struggle here versus Abel. Looking at Abel, he's pitched 23.1 innings and he's got a 3.47 ERA, 1.16 whip. Bryce Elder, he's been okay. Scott, like he hasn't been great. He really hasn't been bad. He's got a 4.77 ERA. It's not outstanding, but it's not the worst it could be at either. So I do think Bryce Elder will play a strong game here. I think Abel will bring his A game and we'll stay under the 9.5. And if I'm looking at a lower scoring one, I got to look at the Phillies at plus 154.
Yeah, there's something weird. I mean, the Elder stinks. He's 2-4. You said it. ERA close to 5. Got lit up by the Marlins his last outing. Got lit up by Colorado his outing before that. In a game that Atlanta ended up winning, but he couldn't even pitch long enough to get the win. He gave up 4 runs on 7 hits. So all of a sudden, something is real with it. That line is not right. Something's up in that game, I guarantee you.
As we know, it's just we enter every year and it's, is this the Ravens' time? Is this Lamar Jackson's turn? Can they get past the Chiefs and all of these other, stalwarts of the AFC? But it's always really about Kansas City when we're talking Baltimore.
This potentially, Adam, as I send it back to you, potentially is a game changer in that you get a very talented quarter at a discount price.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Oklahoma City now becomes one of 4 NBA teams ever, one of 3 NBA champs ever to win at least 84 total regular season and postseason games.
It's just the beginning, Ben, and you just look at a team with, these guys at such a young age, and, Chet's got a team option, Ismail Dieng has a team option, Jalen Williams team option, Keyshawn Wallace team option. Hey, Ben, they're all coming back.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We are seeing unbelievable temperature surges over the past couple days. So I wanted to ask you this question to let the people know, how do we account for that in our handicapping? 2 good pitchers on the mound, but you look at a place like Wrigley Field, let's just say, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 90-plus degree temperatures. Is it almost like you say to yourself, you just have to fade the environment and not worry about the pitchers? Because if we're hitting fly balls, they're going yard.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Was the first time, I think, in Dodgers history that the ballpark was full in the first inning. Everybody was there to see Shohei Ohtani throw his first pitch as a Dodger, and I had mixed emotions about this for a few reasons. Number one, it was a reminder of, wow, this is so crazy, right? You're watching him hit 98, 99, even 100 on the radar gun going, this guy's not human. Nobody should be able to be this good of a hitter and this good of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. It is In-Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Scott and Joe, hour number 2, taking a peek at some baseball stuff. We got Cam Stewart coming up in about 10 minutes or so. One game we really haven't brought up, because it's been an 8-0 game, so, why bother, right? But it is amazing how often you get near no-hitters. So we have a no-hitter watch. 8-0 Cincinnati over San Diego. And there is 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. Nick Martinez, him and his ERA over 4, shutting out and no-hitting the San Diego Padres. 1 out, 8th inning, Joe. He's thrown 98 pitches. He is still out there. This is like the perfect game that I talk about all the time. Let the guy get through 8. He's probably going to have, 105, 106 pitches. And then with an 8-0 lead, let them go out there in the 9th inning. I don't care. Roll the ball up there. Throw underhanded, honest, throw left-handed, whatever you want to do. Just, I'm going to give you an out. I'll give you one hit. You got an 8-0 lead. If the guy hits a home run, who cares? But just lob the ball over the plate realistically. I'd like to see them do that. 2 outs, top of the 8th. Yeah, 2 outs now. He's got 100 pitches.
What do you think,
You
Scott?
got to pitch him in the 9th.
Will they?
It's baseball. No, they won't. I tell you what, if he gets this next batter in like 1 or 2 pitches and only has 102, you got to let the kid pitch the 9th inning. You just have to. I mean, his arm's not going to freaking fall off. He's 34 years old. He's been a journeyman pitcher. He's been in the majors for a while. Give him all the credit. I'm not putting him down, but we're not talking about Cy Young here. Well, what kind of career are you risking? This is a chance for him to do something. I would put him out there, but will Cincinnati? We'll see. Let him get through the 9th or the 8th rather. One more batter. He's at 102, so he's got to throw at least one more pitch. But maybe a little no hitter tonight. FanDuel offering a bet.
Okay, let's see if we can get it.
Yeah. Dodgers tied up Kansas City, by the way, 4-4. Oh, that was Dodgers getting odds against Kansas City. Oh, what a great bet that was.
Yeah.
They locked it up. Uh-oh.
They did.
I mean, he got a hit.
No?
Oh, no. Bottom of the 8th.
There we
Bottom
go.
of the 8th they go. Yeah.
Nice.
How about that?
Nick Martinez. Nicely
He's getting
done.
up there in pitches. What's he at
Yeah.
now? He's got to be at least 105. But that would have been nice for him to get out of there with like 102 or so. But 105 pitches for 6 strikeouts. What do you think? They going to let him pitch? 8-0
They
game?
better. They better. That's
hope
so frustrating if they don't, right?
Yeah.
But the minute he allows any contact, they're going to yank him.
Yeah. That's okay. Like I said, I'm 100% serious about this. Just tell the pitcher, listen, your pitch count is over, but we got an 8-0 lead. So we got plenty of cushion. Just go out there and lob the ball over the plate. Maybe the next 3 guys, who knows, hits it right at people. You never know. Will they be bearing down, because it's a no-hitter more than if it was an 8-0 game normally? Yeah, I get that, but I don't care if the dude hits a home run. What's the difference? I'm going to give you the opportunity to San Diego to F up. That's really what it is. So who's batting? Who's due up for the Padres? Let me see who made the last out for San Diego. Sheets lined out, Bogarts, Cronenworth. I always get confused on which way they go, up or down. So Cronenworth or Sheets. Where's the batting order? So you got the bottom of the order too, Joe. You got the number 8 hitter in Brooks, who's hitting a $182. You get the number 9 hitter in Maldonado, who's hitting a $185. And then you have Louis Ariz, the leadoff hitter, who's hitting $285. Bottom of the order, you got to let him pitch. You just have to. But we'll see. We'll see. What do you think? If there was a 50-50 bet, is this guy pitching 105 pitches? Is he going to pitch? Is he going to start the 9th? Would you bet yes or no? It was a 50-50 bet.
I'd bet yes, because that's where my heart wants to go, Scott. But is it wise to bet yes? Because we see these pitchers get taken out all the time, right? It's not fair to them. It really isn't.
Live specials. That's where it would be, right? Nothing. Yeah.
No.
There used to be a time they would have them all the time. Live player props, maybe?
Oh, it's come up. Live specials. It's plus 105 for him to throw the no-hitter.
Where do you see that?
It is under a live specials and then live MLB specials right underneath the live specials.
So not under the game?
Yeah, in the game. In the game, but it's a couple tabs over. You've got a batter up, same game parlay tab, and then live specials right beside it.
Yeah, mine doesn't have it.
Weird. They don't want your action, Scott. No. I'm going to take it at plus 105.
So it's plus 105 to the yes?
Yeah.
Does it say Martinez or does it say Cincinnati?
Well, you can
if
take
it says Martinez, then you lose the bet.
There's 2 different bets. Nick Martinez to throw no hitter versus the Padres, at plus 105, or you could take the Cincinnati Reds to throw the no-hitter versus the Padres at minus 175. I can't touch that one, but I'd take a shot on Martinez at plus 105 that they keep him in. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Now, why would they offer that up in Canada but not here in New York? I know every state, I guess, country has different rules. Yeah, I guess so. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
I could bet on the first pitch by Will Benson. Who cares?
Yeah.
But I can't bet on whether the guy's going to throw a no-hitter. Maybe nothing in the pop. There's nothing there for me.
Wow.
Just the game, laying 8.5 and over under 8.5.
Can't believe they don't want your money today, Scott. Right?
Yeah.
It means it's going to win.
Yeah.
I'm going to double up. Plus
Now,
105, one more time. Let's go.
Yeah. I think they throw him out there, Joe. I do. If this was top of the order, with Machado batting, and Arise and then Tatis or something, maybe not. But the bottom of the order with two guys hitting $180, I mean, you just have to. So I think they do. As long as the bottom of the eighth inning doesn't take an hour and a half, I think they let him, out there and let him pitch. But all right, so we'll keep an eye on that. Devil Dogs scored a run, now down 11-8. Tigers got a little something going, but bottom of the eighth inning, down 4-0, and they have a runner on third base with one out. So can they get something going there? Blue Jays looking to blow it open.
And we got a touchdown on the board in the CFL, not the team that I need for these points. The Hamilton Ticats coming out nice and strong today. 18 points already on the board by Hamilton. We are in that third quarter. Montreal trailing behind with 7 points. Game isn't over yet, though, Scott. The Hamilton Tiger Cats defense can definitely give up those points late as well.
All right. What was Hamilton's team total? Do you remember?
Total, I believe it was 20.5. So I think so, because Montreal was 25.5. So I think they had it right around that 20 number.
All right. Dodgers have taken the lead against the Royals. Batting top of the fifth inning, runner on base, leading 5-4. Now they're minus 250. Yeah, I was really surprised they were that quick, that early in the game, third, fourth inning, to make the Dodgers underdogs. I get it, they're trailing, but by one run, I mean, it's the Dodgers, for goodness sakes. Who cares? I mean, I would want that scenario. That's what you dream for a favorite to be trailing and be able to get them plus odds. So, not saying they're going to win, but if you took the Dodgers plus money, 2 minutes ago, now they're minus 205. Now you can grab Kansas City plus 158. If you want to hedge out and have plus money on both sides, you certainly can do that. So, looks like we're going to get a bunch of runs in Milwaukee. 7-3. Milwaukee leads the Colorado Rockies as they bat top of the sixth inning. Phillies and Braves are underway. We got no score top of the first, but Philadelphia has runners on second and third. So we'll keep you posted on that. All right, quick break. Cam Stewart joins us next right here on The Grid.
As we know, it's just we enter every year and it's, is this the Ravens' time? Is this Lamar Jackson's turn? Can they get past the Chiefs and all of these other, stalwarts of the AFC? But it's always really about Kansas City when we're talking Baltimore.
This potentially, Adam, as I send it back to you, potentially is a game changer in that you get a very talented quarter at a discount price.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Oklahoma City now becomes one of 4 NBA teams ever, one of 3 NBA champs ever to win at least 84 total regular season and postseason games.
It's just the beginning, Ben, and you just look at a team with, these guys at such a young age, and, Chet's got a team option, Ismail Dieng has a team option, Jalen Williams team option, Keyshawn Wallace team option. Hey, Ben, they're all coming back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We are seeing unbelievable temperature surges over the past couple days. So I wanted to ask you this question to let the people know, like, how do we account for that in our handicapping? Like, 2 good pitchers on the mound, but you look at a place like Wrigley Field, let's just say, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 90-plus degree temperatures. Is it almost like you say to yourself, you just have to fade the environment and not worry about the pitchers, because if we're hitting fly balls, they're going yard?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
It was the first time, I think, in Dodgers history that the ballpark was full in the first inning. Everybody was there to see Shohei Ohtani throw his first pitch as a Dodger, and I had mixed emotions about this for a few reasons. Number one, it was a reminder of, wow, this is so crazy, right? You're watching him hit 98, 99, even 100 on the radar gun, going, this guy's not human. Nobody should be able to be this good of a hitter or this good of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Joe, hour number 2, as we welcome in our good buddy takes over along with Gabe Morency at the top of the hour, Mr. Cam Stewart. Cam, watching a no-hitter watch in Cincinnati. Ooh. And good news for, good news for Joe. I'm looking at the wrong box score. Good news for Joe. Nick Martinez is pitching the 9th inning. He's got 105 pitches. So he's got the bottom 2 of the order, and then the top of the order with Louis Arise coming up, Cam. So what do you think? Does he get the no-hitter tonight for Cincinnati?
Yes,
Nick Martinez, 34-year-old.
You know me, man. I like the Cincinnati Reds. They're kind of like my National League team after the Jays. I don't know why. I just like, the big red machine back in the day, so I always cheer for Cincinnati. They always let me down, but hey, that's great. I'm cheering for the Reds and all the pitchers, and it always happens this way. You're thinking like Skeens or some other guy. Nick Martinez, you know what I mean? When you look at these no-hitters, it's some 4-starter old guy or a scrub sometimes. It's really weird. It happens in the most random guys. And it's crazy. I'm watching the CFL game, Joe. Sloppy. We only got 25 points heading into the 4th quarter. I'm looking for a live line, so I think that we can get the over there, but they locked it on FanDuel, so I'm going to try to find another number. But Hamilton has 2.5-point dogs, Scott, are winning by what are they winning by? 11 right now, because it could be a big upset, an undefeated team against a team that hasn't won, but the home dog looks pretty damn good right now. Baseball tonight, what are we going to do? Let's take a look here at the late card. I know there was something that I wanted. Oh, yeah. Hey, Joe, the Blue Jays are up 9-0 too. Other than my sunstroke, I'm having a pretty good night on the gambling board. Let's see what else we got here. Dodgers and Royals. I have the Royals plus 1.5. That's okay. Okay, game tonight. I don't like that price with the Angels. I will take the Angels minus 1.5 tonight. It's even money. And or we can do, you know what? Scott, do I do the old public parlay? Sometimes it goes to die, but it's plus 106. Angels and Diamondbacks. Yeah. Are you feeling me?
Yeah, I am. I like the Angels, and I like Arizona. I got Arizona in my SGP, so yeah, good. Why not? Yep.
Yeah, that parlay, you could get it even live with the live ons. It's plus 110 now. So, yeah, you could put that together on the book. And, other than that, Scott, crazy day on the golf course, too. A lot of guys in contention this week. We talked about it, 80-1 leading, Chris Kirk's leading. Morikawa went from 90-1. And our boy, can you believe this, Scott? I was like, why didn't Jake Afternoon Nap sleep today? He shot a course record 11 under. He was my first round leader pick, but he did it today instead of Thursday. 11 under.
Wow.
Can you believe that? He went from T103 to whatever. Yeah, the guy's right on page 1 or 2 of the leaderboard. That's this thing about golf. If you like a guy, think about the stars, right? You got Morikawa. He has one bat. He was 3 under, and he was literally not inside the cut line. Today he goes bananas, and now on FanDuel, he's 8 plus 850. I saw him at one other place. The best I've seen is 9. So you're getting a guy at 80 or 90-1 to 9. Golf is amazing if you can key a couple guys and you do that live betting and hope they go low, because the numbers are so volatile. They change so fast. And I'll tell you, at this course, some guy we might even have a 59 alert. This is the thing. This course, it has been
really?
It's crazy. Oh, they're they're tearing up Detroit Country Club the way I tear up Little Caesars Pizza from Detroit. They're massive. Like birdie. The course has no defense. It has no defense. It's like literally, other than hitting it in the rough, like the winds aren't blowing, nothing's happening. I'm a couple hours away from Detroit. It's hot as hell. Like, you know what I mean? But it stayed soft because they had a little bit of rain. So they're just murdering this place. But I'd watch out. Morikawa's got that new caddy. I don't like him at that price, Scott, and Joe, he could be right in the mix there. Watch out for my boy, Michael Thorbjornsson. Bet him before the tournament. He's 16-1 now. This guy's looking very consistent. Just with the eye test, he looks good. He's 16-1 to win the tournament.
Okay, Cam, I got a couple of questions for you. The first one, what's your go-to Little Caesars pizza? And then the second one, what do you think of Tavares being re-signed to your Toronto Maple Leafs?
Double cheese, double meats. I like green olives. I know a lot of people don't because of the saltiness of them. I used to work at Little Caesars Pizza, and I used to make pizzas for Toronto goaltender legend Johnny Bower. Pizza for Johnny Bower. Yeah, we'd like run into like local, like some musicians and Canadian bands. Like it was a really good location. When I worked at Little Caesars Pies, it was a premium pie. It wasn't this $5 stuffed crust pleaser. Like it was like a premium pie. Like people were like, it was good. Like I used to make the crazy bread too. It's not very hard to make. It's basically just bread, garlic sauce, and a little bit of salt. There's no secret to it. It's not really crazy, but it's good garlic bread. But anyway,
Don't be giving out the Kentucky Fried Chicken secret. If you're giving out secrets here,
dude, I would have taken a job at Kentucky Fried Chicken to learn the secret spices. I crave that, Scott. That is my weakness. I've given up a lot of things in my life, but there's a KFC and they still pump it into the air right by me, and when I'm walking around, I'm like, you bet. Why do you guys do this to me? Next thing you know, I'm walking into the KFC. Anyway, that's my guilty pleasure. I love Kentucky Fried Chicken, and they're not paying me.
There used to be we're going to go back in time. When I went to kindergarten, first and second grade, I believe, there was the Nabisco factory right next to our school for some reason. It was just a killer. Yeah, just a killer.
Anything live we like in baseball? Any close games here? Like the Blue Jays, like that's the whole thing. The games I bet. My teams I bet are up 9-0, 8-0. Arizona, definitely. I'm going to put that pair parlay together. I got to be honest with you too. I would bottom five. The Royals look very juicy to me at plus 220. They're only down one run in that game. It's like one of those things you might want to pull the trigger with. But yeah, Arizona, Angels, public parlay. Wow, it's gone up to plus 131 live. So something's happening. Wow. That's my play for tonight.
Yeah. How about anything on Philadelphia and Atlanta? Late start for them.
I didn't touch that game. I looked at it and I'm like, it's going to be a close. I thought it might be a close game. I'm surprised it's what is it? 1-0 only. It's the bottom.
Yeah.
What do you think about? You like runs? 9.5.
I thought the under, but it's up to 10.5 now. I don't know. Atlanta was awful. They've been awful. A 9.5, I guess, it settled back down again. But I kind of like the under in the game. Tell you the truth.
Yeah, you know what? I got enough things going. I got a million golf picks. I got Canadian football. I got, as a Joe will tell you, I got like 87 active bets going into the weekend. Time to pump the brakes.
Yeah, every once in a while, you just got to say no. Dare you say that? Just say no.
I don't want to say no. That's the problem,
I know.
Scott. I have to.
David Game, top of the hour.
Later.
Thanks, Kev.
As we know, it's just we enter every year and it's like, is this the Ravens' time? Is this Lamar Jackson's turn? Can they get past the Chiefs and all of these other, stalwarts of the AFC? But it's always really about Kansas City when we're talking Baltimore.
This potentially, Adam, as I send it back to you, potentially is a game changer in that you get a very talented quarter at a discount price.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Oklahoma City now becomes one of 4 NBA teams ever, one of 3 NBA champs ever to win at least 84 total regular season and postseason games.
It's just the beginning, Ben, and you just look at a team with, these guys at such a young age, and, Chet's got a team option, Ismael Dieng has a team option, Jalen Williams team option, Keyshawn Wallace team option. Hey, Man, they're all coming back.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We are seeing unbelievable temperature surges over the past couple days. So I wanted to ask you this question to let the people know, like, how do we account for that in our handicapping? Like, 2 good pitchers on the mound, but you look at a place like Wrigley Field, let's just say, 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, 90-plus degree temperatures. Is it almost like you say to yourself, you just have to fade the environment and not worry about the pitches, because if we're hitting fly balls, they're going yard?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
It was the first time, I think, in Dodgers history that the ballpark was full in the first inning. Everybody was there to see Shohei Ohtani throw his first pitch as a Dodger, and I had mixed emotions about this for a few reasons. Number one, it was a reminder of, wow, this is so crazy, right? You're watching him hit 98, 99, even 100 on the radar gun going, this guy's not human. Nobody should be able to be this good of a hitter and this good of a pitcher.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Joe closing up shop. Thanks again, Cam Stewart. He and Gabe Morency take over at the top of the hour for the next 2 on SportsGrid Radio, SportsGrid TV. So the no-hitter is gone, Joe. They did bring him back out for the 9th inning. He actually walked the batter, too, and they still kept him in the game, much to the credit of Terry Francona, who I obviously like as a Red Sox guy. And they gave up a double to a pinch hitter, Diaz. Good, it wasn't a cheap shot. It was almost a home run, so it was a legit hit. But at least they gave him the opportunity. Finished with 112 pitches. So you know what? I credit my guy, Francona, for allowing him to do that. And he walks out of there. Unless something crazy happens, at least he's going to get the win. So 8-0 Cincinnati, with Padres getting 1 hit. Dodgers are leading 5-4, right? We were all over that one. They're playing now top of the 6th inning. The late games are just getting underway. No score in the first inning. Did you have any Nerfies or Yerfies in either one of those 2 late games, by the way?
No, I didn't look at the Nerfie or Yerfie in either of those, Scott, and I wish I had, because now we're sitting here at the bottom of the first between Miami and the D-backs, and we're seeing this right now, 0-0. So, yeah, and the other one, we 0-0 as well. I love that we've got the pitching duel actually playing out between the Nationals and the Angels. So that's my same game parlay. I took both the pitchers to their strikeouts, to the over in the first 5, to the under. So far, so good, but I don't want to jinx it. We're only at the top of the second.
Yeah, I don't know if I should tell you or not then. So Irvin's got 2 strikeouts in the first inning. So Soriano's got 1. Boy, I don't know what's gotten into Jose Soriano, but he's actually turned into a major league pitcher. I mean, this guy's actually like, wow, you look for him now. Last outing, he allowed 1 run in 6 2/3 against a real good Houston team. He shut out the Stankies the game before that through 7 innings. Allowed just 1 run through 7 against the A's. Of course, my Red Sox beat him up a little bit, but before that, 6 shutout innings against the Guardians. So 4 out of his last 5, he's turned into a real major league pitcher. He's going 7 innings in some of these, which is nice to see from a pitcher. So, yeah, but I had the Irvin too, as I mentioned earlier. So he's at 2. Don't want to jinx it. Still need to get 3 more, but not a bad little start there. Tigers scored a run against the Twinkies in the 8th, and they had runners on 2nd and 3rd, but they couldn't score anymore. So 4-1. They're in the 9th now, bottom of the 9th inning. So we need a miracle out of that one to come through. And Phillies did take a 1-0 lead over the Braves. They scored 1 in the first. They had a couple more runners on, but they didn't produce any more runs. So the over-under, which I still think is kind of weird. It's awfully high. I don't quite get it, but okay. It's at 8.5 now. So it dropped 1 run from the 9.5. But anything on the board that you like that's going on right now?
Nothing that I love unless you didn't get in on the Dodgers before. I'd still lay the 1.5 on that run line if you don't have anything with the Dodgers. We got them when they were down. So the 1.5, you're getting a little bit of plus money. It's plus 110 right now, as we are seeing us go into the bottom of the 6th. But apart from that, Scott, I don't trust the Cubs to come back versus the Astros. I don't trust the Rockies to come back versus the Brewers. We do have a tight one with the Mariners and the Rangers. Higher scoring game than I expected. 11.5 the
Yeah.
total. I can't touch it.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing that game
Yeah.
went over already, the 7. So,
Yeah.
but otherwise, Seattle's leading again. I will say that. They have runners on first and second, according to FanDuel, but I don't think that's right because Texas is getting plus 215, and they would be getting plus 215 if they had runners on first and second, even with 2 outs. So that something tells me that's actually in the top of the 7th. Well, I tell you, Joe, if the Mariners win again, but they would be 19-5 against Texas over the last 3+ seasons, including 6-1 this year. I don't know, 2 evenly matched teams, Texas winning a World Series a couple of years ago. Seattle's been half decent. You would think that would be a 50-50 series, but it has been just so lopsided. I don't know what Seattle has to take, Texas and have their number like they do, but boy, they do. So I'll bet them again tomorrow. I don't know what the line is. I don't know who's pitching, but if they win tonight, I'm right back on the Mariners again tomorrow.
Yeah, I definitely would too. Just to note, we're going to overtime. The Minnesota Lynx, the Atlanta Dream tied 90-90 going into OT. Live total of 187.5 at plus 112. Scott, give me the over.
Yeah. Padres have the bases loaded and they've scored a run. They entered the ninth inning being no hits. They have nobody out and they got the bases loaded. If we come back tomorrow night and see, we're tomorrow afternoon, Joe and I are on from 8, and we talk about a Padres rally, that would just be crazy. No, great job working with you all week. Joe and I again tomorrow, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on the grid, Saturday afternoon, early evening. We'll talk to you then.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do.